show. Hey, are you ready? Hey, are you ready? Are you ready to go? Tell me what you wanna know. A real live episode. Mike Gilcreast podcast show. We keeping it real, y'all. Are you ready?
How's everyone doing? Happy Friday. This is Mike Gilcreast on the Mike Gilcreast Show, live and in person. We're here, keeping it real, y'all. And just here, excited to do this next show. Yeah, Wednesday show was so amazing. It was we talked about domestic violence and talked to a real life person, Shirley Cornelius, who endured pain and suffering of a real abuser. And I mean, it was horrific. It was pretty horrific. Tearful. She was, a lot of tears and stuff. But that was a really good show. I appreciate her honesty, forwardness, and doing what she does. And she shared her life and story with us. Twice she came on. One time we messed up. We had to do a redo, but for the most part, she came back and we embarked upon a lot of things. I mean, it's touchy. It's touchy. I don't want to see people go through stuff and get abuse and stuff like that. So, I look forward to having more shows like that in the future, and and sharing our lives and story with you all, and hopefully, you guys enjoy it as well. We got, I'd like to do a variety of different things, and like I said, 70% of what we do is relationships, and so go from there. To me, it's Happy Friday. I mean, I've done a lot of things. We're staying active, busy. I mean, I'm telling you, I just don't have enough time in the day. I I don't have it. I need more time in 24 hours. If we can somehow make it 48 hours per day, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I could get so much done. But you do what you can, you keep going, that's pretty much it, and so um, it is what it is. But shout out to favorite sister-in-law, Miss Olinda. I hope she's feeling better, better, better. She had the little bug, and it stayed with her, and we praying that God pushed that away from her, and so she can get better and do and be what she want to be. I don't know about y'all, but I ate great. I had Jamaican food last night, but tonight, shout out to my friends, and so I go to Gallows Polo and Grill here in Apaka, Florida, and they're just the nicest group of people. I know the owner, I know his sons, and so they're just, just Anthony, Tony, and Joey. I mean, they're just fantastic group of people. The food is fantastic. Actually, I just finished eating a dinner, but that's where it's at. And so they got a variety of food. I mean, even fried rice, but go get yours. If you're in the area, you're anywhere close to Orlando, hey, I put the address up. Go get some. Go get something. Tell them I sent you. All right. And so the owners, I haven't showed that one, but he has my book as well. I'm looking to go there plenty more times, and hopefully they can do some catering for me as well. They're doing a really great job. The food is just fantastic. I'm telling you, I haven't had good food like this since we left Virginia. And so I told them I always try to give them a shout out and stuff like that. But go check them out. All right, Gallows Polo and Grill. Awesome, awesome, awesome food, awesome family, awesome atmosphere. The restaurant's clean, and so that's important. And always busy. It's always busy. So you get a chance to stop through it and give them a look and try the food and stuff like that, and tell them I sent you. All right. And so definitely appreciate that. Um, that being said, all right, so yeah, good food. I had some chicken and plantains and some fried rice and some beans. I mean, I mixed the beans with the rice. Oh my god. Oh my god, and then the plantains on top, it was just delicious, and I got full, and very good. So I want to, bring that out. So that's my commercial time out, but I like to advertise them as much as possible and go from there. But yeah, yeah, hello to sister-in-law, and Shirley, if she's watching, I mean, great, interview yesterday. I mean, yesterday with Wednesday, it was touching, seriously. But we're moving on. We don't pick up, where we left off, which is better, marriage or divorce. Not marriage or divorce. Being married or being single. You know what? Um, I wish we knew what we wanted, and I wish I'm kind of like simple. I wish times were like back in the day, marriages was arranged, and I'm kind of old school. I know people not gonna. That's archaic, and people. We don't want that. We want to pick our own this and that. I got you. Yeah, but life was a lot more simpler. But people found a way to be happy. And that's what you got to do in regular relationships. Good, bad, cute, ugly, rich, poor, whatever. You have to find your way to be happy. If the marriage was arranged, they had to find their way to be happy. You wasn't necessarily happy because you was married to somebody. People get married today and spend millions of dollars on a wedding, and then they're still not happy. And so you can't go by what someone look like. Oh, they look like this. Looks don't create happiness. And when we kind of get things confused. Oh, they cute. Oh, they this. Oh, they that. And looks don't make you beautiful, ugly, whatever. It doesn't make the relationship successful based on someone look or based on how much money people have. Looks does looks money it does not push towards success. Oh, you're beautiful, so I expect you to be nice. I expect you to be rich, and we're gonna have a happy marriage. Doesn't work like that. Doesn't work like that. Bust your bubble, bust your own bubble. Boom. You know, and you gotta kind of know what you want, and you gotta understand life, because life is not fair. You got. I'll tell you, it's not based on beauty. That's why we should have arranged marriages. But check it out. You got ugly people, ugly men with beautiful women, and somebody give me thumbs up. You got beautiful women with ugly men, and so it works both ways. But that doesn't describe happiness. I'm not here to talk about people and what they look like or how big they are, what color it. I seen somebody. I'm dark skinned and brown skinned. I seen somebody blacker than me, and boy, and they're in relationships. So it's not color, it's not culture, it's not money, it's not weight, how much you weigh, it's not what you look like. Because for me, I love beautiful people, but at the same time, for me personally, I have this thing. If I find one thing about you that I find attractive, I'm good with you. You're beautiful to me. You see what I'm saying? But that's me. That's my thing. You got to find what works for you, because you could have an okay face but have beautiful eyes, and your eyes will. I'm magnetized just with your eyes. That's me. It could be your lips, your nose, whatever, right? Your forehead, and you got to find what it works, because every day, every day you wake up next to that person after you get married, you got to be satisfied with what you're looking at. You don't want to wake up after your wedding night and say, "Oh my God, oh Jesus, Lord, what was I'm doing?" And then you call your friends, "Why did you let me marry this person?" I'm telling you, people wake up to some really strange realities. Get married, get into a relationship, be who you want to be, right? For all the right reasons, if that makes sense. Because it's no book out there, it's no substance out there where or source of information where it describes to you that you have to pick this person. Was it Darwin who say we should pick people based on natural selection? That wouldn't be true because you got people marrying apes and monkeys, and you got people having sex with animals, bestiality, and so we gotta kind of understand why we do relationships and do it for the right reason and care about it for the right reason. Or don't do it. Don't get married. Don't waste people's lives. Don't mess up people's lives because you just want to get married because you got older. And we go that which is better, being married or being single. I think it depends on you. I can bring the questions out, but it really depends on you, which is better. See what I'm saying? And if you don't know what you want, we treat it like it's an appetite. I don't know what I want for dinner. This, or that's that, or this culture, or that culture, or Japanese, or this. You know, you, you can't do that in a relationship. Where we fail, I think personally, right? We fail to get to know anything about the person we're trying to spend our time with, our life with, eventually, right? And we fail to ask questions. We fail to understand who they are. We fail to understand how to get our point across where we're communicating, which is one of the top 5 reasons people get divorced, right? And it's probably at the very top. And we get into relationships and we didn't communicate. We assume. Assuming is not communicating. You assume he's going to be right. You assume he's going to be nice. You assume she's going to be this, that, and other. You assume she's going to not be lazy. You assume she's going to be faithful. We get in a relationship and we don't even know. We like I said in our other shows, I'm like, we get in a relationship and like, let's have sex. Lord Jesus. Is that all? Is that it? Let's have sex. Why don't you say, if you don't go that direction, why don't you let me mess up your life? Why don't you say that? Because when you do things prematurely, evidently that's what happens. Because you assume all this stuff is what it's supposed to be. Marriage, well, even before marriage, relationships are meant to build upon, not because somebody paid you attention, not because out of all you say, the next guy talk to me, I'm going to be nice to him. It's none of that. We need to get a plan for ourselves, get in the right environment, wear the right clothes, have the right attitude before we adjust ourselves and say, if my wife was gone, she's died and gone, I would not date the way people date. I would not do it. If I'm single out there, I wouldn't. The way people date today is totally wrong. And then if you look for long term, you have to change the narrative, the way you've been doing things, the way you think this is right, the way you think that's right. You know, could you listen to your parents and fall in love? I don't think so. Could you listen to your grandparents? No. Could you listen to your besties? No. You have to decide what type of person you're going to be in that relationship that you want to embark upon. And then you set yourself up for that. They don't just build a store and put it on a corner. Don't you know they do surveys? They look at foot traffic. They look how many people travel up and down, the roads and stuff like that. They look how many houses going to be built. They look at schools, businesses, and then they put a business there based on, past performance this company or this new restaurant can generate this much income or this much business based on the dynamics of past experience. We've all been in some type of relationship, whether you're 5 years old and you did the boxes that we did back in the day and say, I like you, you like me, and stuff like that. And then they check the box. Oh my God, I got a girlfriend. But that was, you check a lot of boxes. Y'all break up and then you go on to the next one. It wasn't even heartbreaks. It wasn't even like people holding their breaths. It's not like you break up as a kid back in my time. People didn't want to commit suicide. They didn't want to, oh my God, I'm going to cut my wrist. I'm going to cut this. I'm going to cut this. I'm going to kill myself because this person it was not that serious. Somebody break up with you, you write another box. I like you like me. Do you? We got social media. That was our form of social media back there, right? And you check the box, yes or no, and you check the next one, and you might say Doris or Jennifer or whatever the name is, and I like you, like me, and check the box. They get it back, it's like, oh my God, yes. And they say no, then you write another one. It never stopped. You never felt bad. You never got mental illness. You never had mental behavior issues because people didn't like you. You were rejected. So what? And we're so adamant in society to police society and not ourselves. I gotta hook up with somebody because I've been single for the last 5 years. So what? Nobody's gonna come and knock on your door and say, you've been single for 5 years. And then you get with a person and they abuse you, this and another, and then knock on your door and say, oh, you've been abused. You should have stayed single. Nobody gonna tell you that. You got to do your own research. You got to find out what you want, what's acceptable, what's not. I always tell you, and I still do it today, get your check sheet. Put down what you like, what you don't, especially after you've been divorced or you've been separated or and separation not good because you can still cheat, but you've been divorced and you're single, you just broke up. That's the best time to do a checklist. Soon as you broke up with somebody, because now everything that agitates you is going to all come out. Write it down and don't compromise. I'm telling you, when I married my wife today, right, and we were dating, I had my checklist. I was not going to anybody that was like something in my past performance, my past relationship. I was not. And I'm telling you, how you know it's successful? Well, we hitting 32 years pretty soon, and we're not looking at divorce, and we're not looking at this. We're not looking at putting on placated attitudes and faking the funk like we so like this, that, and the other, And so, I noticed lately, change the subject a little bit. We had Jamaican last night, and I ordered the snapper fish with the gravy and all. Oh my God, it was just delicious. But anyway, she ordered the same thing. Then we go to the restaurant today, Gallows Pole, and I ordered the chicken with the fried rice and beans, and she ordered the same thing. I'm like, wow, twice in a row. And I don't even know if she noticed that. I'm like, you copping every meal that I that I get, And it's amazing how much we gel together, even for me to bring that little moment out. And that's the stuff you want to pay attention to in relationship and see you do things and see if you're gelling, see if it's working out. I'm giving you pointers on how to date, and I shouldn't even do that, because half the people don't even listen. But I am successful at what I'm saying. I'm successful at what I'm doing, and I'm bold enough to tell women today in their face they don't know how to date, because women, they look at their assets. I got a body, I got this, I got big this, that, and the other, and I got a BBL and whatever, and I got but you're doing it based on your perception of what you think people to look at you at. I'm doing it from a guy's point of view. Would I be interested if you look and wore this, that, and other? I was, and before I'm changing the subject one more time, but I gotta say this because we're speaking of dating, and there's a dating show, and I'm like, I'm iffy about it, but I watch it. If you probably seen this, they pop the balloon, boom, and if you pop the balloon, they don't want to date you, they dismiss you, whatever. But this one got to the end, and I don't always watch. I watch pieces of it, but anyway, it got to the end, and it was almost a match. And so I was looking at it, and I'm like, wow. But it disappointed me. I was discouraged. All right. And it disappointed me because, it was a simple question. The thing is, the dude had about what 7, 8 women to pick from. Boom, just like that. In real life, that's how it is, I think anyway. But the women are single, and some of them had kids, and so forth, so on, right? But anyway. And so the girl had on this jump like suit, and the back was out, the shoulders was kind of displaying. So it's probably from here down. The breast wasn't showing, and so, but it was okay. It wasn't too whatever. But the guy asked a question because he said, "I'm thinking long term," and I love his question, right? And I have a point to make with this, and it goes with this show because I was going to talk about something else, but I wanted to bring this up. And so he said, he said, what you wearing right now? I give it about a 6, and being modest. So a 6 out of 10, 10 being the worst. He said, I give it, probably, a 6. And so I'm like, yeah, I can probably get a 6. I'm not into all that revealing because I like under unknown because I think relationships are better when guys see less of you because guys make judgment based on how you dress, just so you know. And guys will know if you're easy or not based on how you dress, but that's another story. All right. But anyway, I might do a show on that, how you dress and how, whatever. That's the psychology of that. But anyway. And so he said, I'm giving you about a 6 on that. And they gelling and everything, cool. He said, but let me ask you, if we're in a relationship and I told you he was thinking long come like he wanted to see if he going to be really be with this girl or not. And guys get into relationship. Guys don't always get in a relationship to smash it and get with you. And sometimes they want to see what you at and what you bring to the table. And sometimes it's good. But on this show where they popped a balloon, you know, he said, "Let me ask you a question. We're in a relationship, and I ask you, could you tone it down just a tad, just a little bit? What would you do?" And her response shocked me. Cause I'm like, you're single. And you've probably been single at like 25. I think she's 25 or whatever. But single for a while. And then you look into, you got 10 years to where your body's, before you get in that critical age state of having kids and settling down, da 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 da. Right. And then you got to build relationships or whatever. But she said, and this is how you knew the relationship was gonna go south down the line if they got together. She said, he said, would you have a problem with that? When he said, if I asked you just to tone it down a little bit, which means probably if the thing was here, like pull it up some to your shoulders, right? Whatever. It wasn't nothing drastic. He said, tone it down just a tad. So take it from a 6 to maybe a 7, whatever, right? Or a 7 to a 5. And so out of 10, 10 being the best, I said the reverse, but 10 being the best and 1 being the worst. And so he gave her about 6. He said, if I want you to go up to about 7, be more modest, right? He said, what would you do? And I was shocked at her answer. She said she took the toothpick and popped his balloon, which means they were the last two because he went through everybody else and it didn't work, and she popped his balloon, which means it wasn't a match. And she said, this is what she said. She said, I want my freedom to be able to dress and wear what I want to wear. That's the wrong answer. Cause the thing is, right? Let me tell you why. All right. Because you may not even ask the question, but y'all got to understand this in relationship. Because we're talking about it's better to be married single. If you're single and you'll be a hoe, yeah, dress wear threes, fours, five, and dress provocative. Show your underwear, show your G string. Because you see that too, right? If you don't be a hoe and you're not being in a relationship, then you don't have to be modest. But if you don't be in a relationship, you should be modest because respect comes from modesty. Even the Bible says women should adorn themselves in moderation, if you will, right? And so I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but I'm letting you know. And so I'm married to my wife, and I don't use my personal thing. And thing is, I have an image. I'm a film producer. I'm an author. I'm a pastor. So I have an image. I'm not. I ain't just hanging out with any kind of girl. I mean, any kind. My wife used to model. She understands. She understands me, and she has no problem when I asked her in a respectful way if something was too revealing not to wear it. She had no problem with that, right? And the thing is, if she did, I would have a problem. Because the thing is, if say for instance you wear something, say at 10 being the best in modesty, and you wear something at a 4, and then you go out and you go to the take dinner, or you go to the mall, you go get gas, whatever, right? And you get out and you bend over to get your gas and just slightly, and then your underwear is showing. And then whatever. And now guys like whoo whoo, they whistle, whoo, whoo, whistling, blowing, and the guy like, man, that's my woman. And the dude like, he how can you protect her honor, your honor, if she's disrespecting you. Because when guys, I mean, I had this conversation before, even on here, but check this on a different show. But if a guy can't ask you to wear stuff because his job is to protect you and keep guys, because he's a guy, he knows what guys look at and this, that, and other. No men, no man, no man, right? Want a bunch of guys looking at everything he's supposed to have. And so when guys don't respect women, they kind of be more loose and free and this, that, and other. I got it. But when you respect each other, like me and my wife, we don't disrespect each other. Like the tank tops, the white beaters or things they wear underneath their shirt. My wife do not want me to wear them outside, showing my muscles and flexing. She's like, you're not wearing that outside, you know. And I respect her because she's like, no, I don't want everybody looking at what you got, you know. And I respect that. So you got to understand what you're looking for. If you want to be single and you could dress what you want, but if you want to be married, you got to show moderation. You know, you really want to show moderation. If you don't show moderation, it's just like your mom back in the day. Our mothers used to come up to the school in their house coat and the rollers in their hair, and what you doing acting up? Boom, 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 and beat you up in the class or whatever, right? Nobody want their mom to come out the house in their robe and this and that because it's disrespect. You don't want to look at your mom. You don't want people to talk about you and your mom stuff. A woman, how you dress, that's what you draw the attention to. Just like if you understand colors, you understand clothing. Different colors represents a power or spirituality. So how we dress, how we carry ourselves represents that. People like some women got, I'm telling you, they got bad bodies. Oh my God. They got the curves, the pop bottle, the this. I'm being real. They got it off the chain. But the thing is, if everybody sees that, that's what they measure you at. Like I look at her, oh my gosh, she's bad. She just this and that. I'm a single guy, and I'm like, I got to get that. But if I was in the world, not in church, and you can see why these pastors are failing having sex because people are dressed provocative, and you can't just dress and do anything you want because you draw attention whether you want to or not, and we try to not blame you, but you are. It's like if you get sick because you eat bad food, you are what you eat. So with attention you draw because of what you wear, you are what you wear. If you dress like a hoe, you look like a hoe, then you a hoe. They talking about the preacher now and New Birth talking about, his wife looked like a two-bit whore based on what she wore. And all you got millions of people talking about that, and so if you go to a courthouse, some judges will make you leave the courthouse if you're not dressed the proper way. You see what I'm saying? And so why can we have a standard at certain places, but you don't have a standard for yourself? Because you got a body don't mean nothing. Because you got breasts and a big behind, that doesn't mean nothing. Look at the state of the world today. A booty call is a booty call, and how you present it, whether you marriage material or not, that's the attention you're going to draw. I was disappointed at the young lady because she told me I don't want nobody telling me what to do, but the dude was smart enough to ask the question. Because the thing is, if you were not going to take my opinion about how what's disrespectful to me or not, and then you're going to kill the relationship early on. I think they would have had problems early on because she wanted to be individualized. When a man and woman get together, it's no individuality. It's a plan to come together to be as one. You cannot have two mental states of success and leaders in one marriage. Somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose. Either the dude's going to be weak in impact and women don't respect impact guys, or weak guys, or guys they can run over. Women do not respect guys like that. Or the guy's going to be the strong lead and the woman's going to jump on board and help him to be successful and stay where he is. And so it is what it is. That's just how society works. That's how I believe the Bible works. And the Bible tells, that man's take care of his own family and stuff like that. But if the woman don't want to listen, that's not going to work. And that's what I gathered out of the show. The woman didn't want to listen. And she was an attractive young lady, but the thing is, that don't mean nothing if you're not bringing the right energy. And then at the end of the day, she'll be back where she started, single and by herself. You see what I'm saying? And the thing is, I'm trying to alleviate some of that stuff. That's why I'm talking about these things so we can learn to do it better and understand it's not all about us and what we want. Even I had to make compromise because before I got married, I used to go outside in my tank top, t-shirt, and shorts and whatever. And so, and I'm half dressed and I'm out there barefooted, whatever. And now I get married, and I'm like, you can't do that no more. You can't do that anymore. People watching you. And like I said, I got an image. She got an image too. She want people to see me in a certain way too. It's clothes I used to wear and they're big baggy stuff. She said, I don't want you wearing that with me. So uh, uh, I think it worked both ways, but most guys, dress in a way. I'm not the dressy dress person anyway. I like lounge pants. I'm home. I like the lounge pants. I like sweatpants. I like, dressing down. I do my show, so put clothes on for the show, but after the show, I like to get relaxed. And so it is what it is. And so when I'm home and I am relaxed and I got my little flip-flops and this and that and whatever. And I know how to tone it down. And so we got to understand what we want in a relationship. You got to know what value you bring to the relationship. Because when you become individualized and it's about you, it cannot be about y'all both. Because the man's the lead and then the woman within that. Not under him necessarily. It just falls within her role within the relationship. And so the woman should be submissive to the man, but it doesn't mean he's her boss. It's not that mentality. Please don't look at it from that point. All right. I'm not my wife's boss, nor am I her dad. I'm not her dad. Don't want to be her dad. But I want to be that leading role to her where she respect me and I can lead the household at a point where she can follow me. That's the point where I want to be. And so sometimes you act like a dad, but you're still not her dad because normally a regular relationship, where it's normal. A young lady has a submissive to her father, and so the husband kind of take over some of those roles and go from there. All right. And so I hope I said, a couple things, and then I was going to discuss something else, but I had to share that. Don't go into a relationship and you don't want to be asked what to do. And I don't want to say be told because a husband is not your child and to the wife, and the wife not child to the husband. But you deal with each other in a respectable way where you know how to talk to them, you know how to respect them, and you go from there. But if you think it's all about you and your assets and how big your body is and this, that, and the other, and how much you could do and how much guys are attracted to you, you're not ready for a relationship. That's immature. You bring it to the table because I looked at one young lady. I'm like, she was at the restaurant, and I looked at her. I'm like, God, she got a bad body. She's nice, but then I thought about it. I said, guys go after that. They're gawking and looking and boom, and whatever, right? And believe me, all the time women flirt with me and that stuff. And I'm like, I asked my wife, say, you see that girl? And I even asked my wife, I say, one of these girls flirted with me. Which one was it? And my wife would tell me which one flirted with me. I said, how do you know that? And the thing is, she does. But the thing is, I was telling you how I look at somebody and they got a nice body. If you look at people today, your body at 18 to 25 to 30, right? So let's say 18 to 30. It ain't gonna be the same once you have a child for one. It's not gonna be the same once you pass 35. Everything not gonna be the same. So don't put all your chips in one basket. My body bag, men like me, this, that, and the other, the money I can make. Don't have that mentality. Because when you lose it, you're going to be regretting all the bad choices that you made. And then you be like, well, I did have a bad body before. You can't reminisce on something you may never see again. You may never get it back. And chances are, once you hit 35, it ain't coming back. You could keep yourself maintained, but way you were and how everything, the elasticity of your body, it ain't the same as 20, well, I say 18 to 20, 35. All right. It ain't the same. It's not the same whatsoever. So please don't bank on that. All right. like even the Bible says in Proverbs, it says, "Beauty fades." You know, you got it, but it's like a leaf. It's full of velour, the leaves and stuff, but give the season change, and then it starts losing its elasticity, and then it starts turning colors, like hair turn gray, and you gotta understand, having a bad body means nothing, and I gotta get that through women's head, because sometimes women bank on that. They do, they bank on their body, and look how many women get raped and, abused and date rape and this and that. It's not about your body. You gotta make sure you don't end up with a dude that's sick in the head, you know? And the people look at you for you and look at you for you first and not your asset, not who you are. You know, some guys that talk to women because I used to do it in back in the day and say, So I want to talk to you, but you keep distracting me. And the girl would be like, oh what? Oh what? You boost them up enough, then you didn't got them. Women, don't let your body be your fall, your downfall. Because it doesn't last forever. Invest while you young, invest, make your money, save your money, this, that, another. That way, when guys don't act right, you can dismiss them. You know the game. You know I'm teaching you the game, so you know the game. So you know the conversation to have. You know the questions asked, and boom, 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 and you're like, okay, I could cut them out, cut them out, cut them out. It don't matter how fine they are. Because if you ever look at a dude, I looked at some guys, right? And I knew them when they were younger, and I look at them when they're older, I'm like, oh my God, they only got a little piece of hair left, right? I'm laughing, but it is what it is. They not the same. Like women lose their beauty, guys do too. But you know, how guys get older, how women get older is different. But guys can look pretty rough too, though. And don't grow old gracefully. And so you can't bank on, just check me out. Look what I'm about. Because at some point it doesn't matter. I'm comfortable who I am. I know what I bring to the table and stuff like that, but I'm not vain about it. See what I'm saying? I don't think, since I'm dark and lovely, the people won't like me. But the thing is, my reality, and my wife and I would talk about it, is like, people won't necessarily like me for me. They may like me for what I can do or what I bring to the table. So even for me, since I'm in a different category, I gotta be extra careful because my realm is totally dynamic, and I have to be careful. And so people don't care if I'm married. If I'm married, that makes people more attracted to me. You know, some people don't care if you're married or not, and if they want you, they trying to come for you. So I mean, we have the same issues, but we can't get lost in who we are. I'm comfortable in who I became after the fact, but I was into myself back in the day where I knew I had it. I knew I had it going on. You know what I mean? And so go from there. Let's look at these questions right quick. Do you believe that a person's eyes is the window to their soul? Absolutely. And the thing is, I think real connections happen when two people meet. It is if they get eye to eye, oh my God, I think it does something to your chemistry, your minds, and that them hormones that go through your bodies, endorphins and what have you. But the real connection, yes, the eyes tells a whole story, and it's a window to your soul. What we see, think about it. Everything you see, your brain registered. Boom, 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 boom. And when you see something horrific, your brain registers that too, and then they can reshape your thought process. And yeah, your eyes, it allows all that to happen. And so that's why we got protected. That's why, a perfect example of windows to your soul. It's like, say, for instance, every day I look at pornography, you know, and now I won't look at women the way I'm supposed to. I won't look at pornography the way I want to. I won't think about sex the way I'm supposed to because through my eyes, it's been revamped and turned around. So my thought process is not normal the way it's supposed to be. So I avoid that stuff. I avoid that because even though you could watch Facebook and people be nude or having sex or they're doing some inappropriate sexual acts and I'm on Facebook and I'm like, wow. And so if you're a parent, you know what I'm talking about. You don't have to do much of nothing. If you're a parent and you got kids, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You don't even gotta try to look for sex nowadays. It's there. Boom, it's there. It is totally there. And when you think it's innocent, especially Twitter really, Elon Musk owned Twitter, right? And so I'm like, they must have really dropped their ball. It's so much because I advertise on these social media, but some of the stuff is way out there. But you got to protect what you see. So you don't damage your thought process. We got to protect what we see in other relationships. So we don't bring that to our relationship. So we gotta protect what we see, definitely. And if you don't protect it, who else gonna do it for you? You don't have filters. That's why we need as many filters as possible so we can not look at or see things that's gonna expose us to change our mindset and from doing what's the right thing or doing the normal thing. All right. So yeah. So I hope I, answered that, but it should be, it should be there. And so we got another one that says what role does communication play in a healthy sex life? You know, communications is top five reason we just went over. Y'all can look at the previous, and we didn't go too deep, but we covered it, right? And it is religious, is family, in-laws, outlaws, is money, is sex, and communication. You could take everything and fit it in communication. So communication's at the top. Some people, it's no sex, no money, no nothing. And just because we don't talk, we getting divorced. So communication would kill a relationship all by itself. Even though everything you do, sex, money, whatever, it falls under communication. And so if you don't communicate and you don't have what it takes to be in a relationship, sometimes relationships can be one-sided. Sometimes it could be both sides. You got to know where you at. You got to know if I'm married, if I'm single, if I'm married, I should do this. If I'm married, I should do that. If I'm married, I need to understand what's my responsibilities in the relationship. If I'm single, we really shouldn't be having sex, but if we are, I may not end up you being your wife or you my husband. And so we might just be wasting our time. We just friends with benefits. And so if you don't have a healthy sex life, you got to know the direction of your relationship that you're going, so you don't mess that up. And so sex is important when it's operated the right way and not abused and not just you're just some being that somebody gets excited about. I think women, I think you want to be more. You want people to be more than just excited about seeing your body. You want to be more because the thing is, if it's not right, not built right, after your body, and then they walk out on you, what you do? They ghost you. What you do? You're stuck. You're still looking for that answer, and you're trying to overcome the loneliness, and you think, if I done did it this way, that way, whatever. We got it. That's why I say, women. That's why I tell you, close your legs, close your legs, close your legs. I can't tell you enough times to close your legs. Seriously, because don't open your legs until after you get married. Because it doesn't work. I could tell you that flip side, backwards, sideways, whatever. And it doesn't work when you have sex and you're not married. It doesn't work. Very seldom do you get a wedding ring in marriage after you have sex and you're in a relationship and you're hoping. I mean, the chance of that happening is almost slim to none. And then if you have kids, it's even slimmer. Can it happen? It does, but it's few far between. It's not an everyday occurrence. So understand what you're getting into. But communication can how you treat somebody, talk to somebody. People call each other names, they cuss each other out. You're not gonna have the healthy sex life if that's the stuff you do. You're this, you are that, you're a female dog, you are that, and so how can you love somebody that all you do is cuss them out, or you calling names and you're not happy with them, or you're upset all the time, you're upset 90% of the time. That's not love. It's anything but love. You're in a convenient relationship that probably help you pay your bills, this, that, and other, and that's it. And you're trying to make more out of it than nothing. Or the guy actually don't want you, or you don't want him, and you're trying to make a relationship out of that. That's the kind of stuff going in relationships when it's not healthy. People don't talk about it, but I do. I've been in relationships where I knew I was leaving. I knew I wasn't going to stay. I knew I didn't want to be there anymore. I've been there. And so I'm not just speaking to speak. I'm living proof of what happens in relationship when it's done. And then you look at each other and you're like, why did I stay so long? Why I was in this mess when nothing happened, nothing's gonna come out. You're never getting married. You're never, going to be the husband you want to be with her, but you want to be the husband with somebody else. Guys already got their mind made up. One thing women don't know about guys could be with you 4, 5, 10, 2, 3. I'm being nice. 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, whatever, right? And at the same time, they're gone from the relationship already. They're tolerating the stuff you're doing. They're doing the things and stuff like that until they get they move just right. And guess what? They gone. Boom. You look around, they gone. And you didn't even know what was going to happen. That's how guys operate. I'm telling you, they gone. They left the relationship already. So it's that much easier to leave. And you tell the dude, "Oh, sleep on the couch." You're like, "Okay, cool. I'm going to sleep on the couch. No problem." And then he making plans to get out of there that much faster because, you don't just tell him sleep on the couch. You can't get none of this. Oh, I don't know why a woman thinks she can stop a man from having sex. I don't know why or wives think that. You can't get some, calling the police. Girl, keep yourself. You lock yourself in the bedroom and the bathroom. I don't want any more. You see what I'm saying? A guy should never allow a woman to control him by sex. Because when a man can be controlled by sex, he don't even know his value. And so relationships shouldn't work off, do what I want you to do, or this relationship's over. I would tell a woman point blank, and I'm telling you, everybody's not like me. Press, leave. I'll help you pack. Because I've never been desperate or pressed to be with a woman. Never. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to kiss up to one like, "Oh, baby, don't leave me. Oh, honey, I don't know what I'd do if you left me." Lord Jesus, life goes on. God never intended a woman to use her body against her husband. 7th chapter of Corinthians, and not a Bible study, but just a point. It says a wife shouldn't defraud their husbands, and the husband shouldn't defraud their wives. And so the Bible teaches we shouldn't do that stuff anyway. And so I know I'm well within my rights to do what I do and say what I say because, I understand the Bible as a whole too. And you don't want to be controlled in a relationship. You want the freedom to live and be free in a relationship. Not, you get to control me with sex. Keep your sex. When guys learn that, women start shaping up. Do you not know? I hope Trump passed the bill where women cannot longer get half when the relationship doesn't work. Irreconcilable difference. We've been married for 6 months and you made $80 million. I won't have. I think that's not fair. Because the laws don't get in a relationship and say, you know what, that wife was mean to that husband. That wife didn't do right. That wife denied that man all the time. That wife didn't cook, clean, nothing right around the house. And and then I think it's unfair, but our laws is what they are for now. But at some point, I think it's going to change. And then it's going to change the way women treat men in a relationship so they understand I don't get half if I leave. And that way we stand together for the right reason. Not it's a payday because you marry somebody rich, you got money, or you built something together and you got money. Relationships shouldn't be looked at as a payday. And it is. Get a baby with somebody, that's a payday. They gotta pay me because I got a child. Only till that child gets of age. And then what you'll do? You're gonna be old. Are you on count on Social Security? But if you didn't work and get your credits and didn't make decent money, you're not going to make a lot of money for Social Security. And you could be stuck. You have the baby. Is it worth it? Why not just get married and do it the right way and live happily ever after? What if the guy that you got pregnant with, you're like, I'm having your baby, da, 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 da. And then 2 years after you have the baby, the dude die. All that support stops. We don't think long term as to what can happen. How can my life change if my plans don't work for A, B, C, D, F, G? Oh my God, we're going to be stuck and we're going to be lost. Well, what if, people in marriages, I want a divorce, and then as soon as you get divorced and you didn't win, and then the person die, now you don't get nothing because everything goes to the other person or to his family. You don't get nothing. There's a reason I think marriage is made the way it's supposed to be, and I'm thinking more marriage, but if you don't want to be married, stay single. But when you're married, you should get the whole thing, and you done it right. Now we didn't got made marriage so technical. Well, before I get married to anybody, we getting a prenuptial. Lord have mercy. I, I'm not there on that. But that's just how life is. And I say I'm not there, but at the same time, if I was single, trust is hard for me. For me to be in a relationship at this point in my life, oh my God, and I'm single, eh, trust is a big deal for me. It's everything for real. I just can't. I don't see it like most people see it. And prenuptials could be a great deal. But because you don't know the mind intention of the person. I mean, I think there should be criteria in there and say if someone's been faithful, this, that, and other, then they could get half. But I think we should have prenuptial, but with criteria, so people not just saying you a meal ticket, and I'm getting with you, and then I'm leaving you as soon as I can, whatever. And people do that. You don't know the heart of people. It's frustrating. This is my smoothie, y'all keep seeing me. It's beginning to melt, but it tastes good. All right. And we got to understand what we're trying to do in a relationship. But seriously, healthy sex life, communication is definitely the key. And knowing, setting the right tone, the mood. It might be cleaning up the house, washing dishes, the kids spend the night at grandma's, and just, me and you, and you've just figured it out. But you got to make the best of that relationship. And let that person that you're with know how much you into them, how much you care for them, and how much you only want to be with them. And that's how you create like healthy sex lives and all kind of stuff. All right. So I hope I answered your question. Married versus single, but we got a lot of sex questions up here. All right. So y'all be prepared. It's coming. What's the most important thing a person should know before becoming sexually active? Oh my God, we're in 2026 now, right? Great question. And it's a lot, especially now, because young kids, right? Young kids, and young people tell me this as well, right? Young kids, I'm talking, under 20. They're and even over, but I'm just saying young kids because you wouldn't expect it. They're having a lot of sex. I mean, a lot of sex, a lot. Seriously. And so in some countries, I was telling my wife, I said, the young people in America having sex at such a young age. That's why in these other countries they marrying girls at 9 years old because everybody been had. Is people don't want to be virgins no more. What's wrong with being a virgin? Women don't understand. Guys will press them for sex, but at the only time. But they want to marry a virgin. Now, what do you do? What do you do? You give it up, you can lose. It's a gamble. But if you wait, you can assure yourself, the victory. Anyway, the most important thing you should know before having sex, becoming sexually active, right? You should you should know you should get married first. That's the number one thing. The most important thing is to get married first. All right. No sex until after you're married. That's how you're supposed to do it. That's God's intention for how it's supposed to be done. All right. And so my light flashing. So I'm have to, eventually change the battery. So anyway, um, get married first. Number two, have a foundation with God. But I just told you a whole bunch of young people are having sex. So people don't want to do this because they think it's tabooish. You know, parts of Africa, parts of DC, parts of Florida, major parts of, Central Florida, even Florida. I mean, Miami, but Central Florida. You go to San Francisco or Sacramento, distant place. I mean, just all over, right? I'm just naming locations. a lot of places, major cities in particular, right? There's a lot of AIDS. People got AIDS. We're so quick to have sex, and we not quick to think about, I'm single, I can sleep with who I want. I'm married, and if I want to go outside my husband, so be it. I'm doing it, right? And the thing is, we don't think about AIDS anymore. We think more of COVID than we do AIDS. I don't want to get COVID, but I pull my pants down in a heartbeat, and if I get AIDS, oh my God, it's a gamble. And then you're getting like, oh my God, what do I do? I got AIDS. So the second thing, if you're not going to wait till you get married, get that person checked out and wait for the results. You know, you can't look at somebody and say, oh, I don't believe you got AIDS. You're beautiful. You're nice. Or you got 2 kids. You can't have AIDS. Let's go. You got to check everything out thoroughly. If you get AIDS, it's nobody's fault but yours. It's no rules out there. It's anything goes. See what I'm saying? So you got to understand, I'm single, but do I want to be single with a death sentence over my life? Do I want to be married cheating with a death sentence over my life? So we have to decide what we want. So we don't end up regretting our stupid choices, our impulsive moments that would cost you the rest of your life. And then if you want to get married, how you gonna do that then? See what I'm saying? It's tough. It's hard. Life has changed. It's so much harder now. And nobody wants to do the right thing. Nobody wants to wait for that next level line of happiness to come your way. We want everything right now. Give it to me right now. Right now. It doesn't work like that. All right. But yes, sexual activity should not happen until you get married. People do it because they don't know what they're doing. And then half the time, chances are y'all may not be together 2 to 4 years from the time you got started. So you done wasted that time and gave your body, and sacrificed this, that, other, and you may miss the most important thing you wanted in life. And that was true love. Don't miss that. Don't miss true love for a couple minutes of pleasure and then you're gone. Doesn't make sense. All right. Is sex healthy before adulthood? Boy, should people have, I'm looking at my wife, people have sex before adulthood? Is it healthy before? You know, some countries, they get married at 9. Some countries at 16. Some countries 17, 18, right? And the thing, at the age of consent, let's look at it like that, is when sex should happen, right? I'll tell you, if y'all lived in town, I don't know how many people listen to me or whatever, but if you live any length of time, think about it, right? I lived with people before, and I was sexually active, living with people, right? So I'm just letting you know. When the relationship's not going in the direction of, say, marriage, right? It's just sex. And then when you don't have a future that you're planning together, guess what? It's just sex. But what happens over time, it gets old because the values of how you see marriage is not compatible about the values you see as being single. And then you realize, I'm just with this person. Are they just using me? Are they just taking advantage of me? But it's your fault because you allowed it to happen. We together, but you have nothing in common. You're not growing 401ks together. You're not building a house together. You're not having kids together. You're not sorting through problems and issues. You're not being married. All that stuff goes on in marriage. And you create a bond and a relationship where you could be together. That's gone. When I was living with people, I was missing that. I knew I wanted to be married. And I knew I didn't want it for where I was at. Because we were living a fake life. We killed all of our dreams that we could potentially do because we did everything. And then I wasn't happy anymore to be in a situation, to be with her. I wasn't happy. I was crazy about it. I thought I loved her, but I wasn't happy. And then I don't want to say I started cheating. I was still cheating. So I knew I knew marriage was nowhere in the question. Because if you married, like I'm married to my wife, and I tell you all the time, I said she's the only woman I've never cheated on. And in a real relationship, I have to say real relationship, I don't cheat, but it has to be a real relationship. Not the living fake thing. I can't. Me, I live with a couple people, right? And marriage is nowhere on the table. I teased and lied and whatever about it, but it was nowhere on the table. I was not getting married in a living situation. I was not. No, it wasn't going to happen because we're doing things and it was missing things. Um, the realness of a relationship was missing. When you live together, you're missing something. I'm telling you, and it doesn't bring you that closure. You go out and then somebody talk, "Oh, you married yet?" And you think, "Oh my God, I'm not married to her. We just together." So I wasn't even respecting, to the point to even bring it back up and say, somebody asked if we married. The woman would like that. If you ever asked a woman that's been with a guy a long time, and you say, when you get married, and you know what they would say? Go ask him, because he ain't telling her, and she can't ask him because she getting on his nerves because she asked him, push him. Guys don't want to be pushed into a relationship. Women, you mess up when you live with guys and you give it up and you think you're going to get married and you don't know the direction of your relationship. And then you have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 kids and you're like, I wonder if he's going to marry me. Why do you need to get married and you live together? You're going to be missing that. And that piece that you really want is going to be missing from you the rest of your life. And you'll be in a situation and die wishing and hoping that you was married. That's how it works. That's how it works. I'm being 100. That's how it works. Women, y'all give it up and you think that's not how men work. We don't think like that. Keep your vagina to yourself and stop allowing guys to have free access, get you pregnant, take you through the different things, get you diseases. And then you're like, oh my God, all I got is this guy. And you done blocked off everybody that really wanted to marry you. We stay with people that we know will never marry us. And then the people that want to marry us, we locked up in a situation, they block. And so you can't move forward. And the only thing that adds up for you is your age. Now you go from 25 to 65, and now you're not even married. Then what you do? And I'm telling you, most women, in the back of your mind, your desire is to be married. I've talked to women time and again, and they want to be married. Which is better? I watch people who pretend to be happy, and they're not happy. They're looking for marriage. They want love. They want to be loved by one individual person. And some women, when they're so tired, they were married the most ugly. No, they were married a dude that they're not compatible with. I'm not even gonna say ugly. And they're like, I just want to be married. And then looks becomes a non-factor. And they could deal with it anyway. I'm deal with this now because I want to be married. And he's nice, he's handsome. But she like, oh my God, he was not my type. He is not the guy I want to marry. He was not attractive. He was this. But women are gonna tell that because the dude paying the bills, he's working hard, he's showing you how much he loves you. And so you're not gonna diss him like that. I'm just telling you how it works. You settle. You settle because you don't want to cross that bridge. You settle. And the dude love you, but he just not your type. And you make the best of a bad situation. Some people can do it, stay it, maintain it, and keep going, and some people can't. I can't believe I've been here like an hour. So no sex before adulthood. Unless you meet the age of marriage, then you get married. That's my advice. All right. And so it says, should couples have a sexual bucket list? I don't know about that one. You know, we didn't hang from the chandelier. Come on, baby. You know, I want to do it on the beach, buff naked in the sun, only the moon shining on us. Yeah, you know what? You got to figure out what you want with the other person because the other person may not want that. And sometimes the beach, I'm just using beach, and that's probably one of the most inconvenient places for a woman to be intimate with you because the sand goes everywhere. All right, and it's uncomfortable. And but I think how you build your relationship make your bucket list that much better. I think, when you're in a real relationship, you talk about the stuff you want to achieve, and this, that, and other, and whether you're around your house, whether you're in the car, this, that, and other, you got to figure it out. I think that's part of a relationship that you talk about, you grow into, and say, as you build a relationship, and say, hun, I would love to do sex here. I would love to do sex there. I mean, that's kind of like in a relationship. Stuff. I don't think I could give you advice and say everybody should go to the moon and have sex. I'm not going to do that. Uh, yeah. It is what it is. And but yeah. But some couples like you don't even talk about sex. And one of the chapters, one of the segments we did was sexuality in the relationship. And so some couples get together and they don't have nothing to say about sex. And they at the point, you can't see me naked, this, that, another. And I'll tell you, when you comfortable with each other, you go to the bathroom, the door could be open, you be sitting on toilet, door be open. When you're comfortable and it doesn't matter, it depends on what you're looking for in a relationship. So you just got, feel comfortable with your body. And then you go from there. Nudity is something we all gotta do. Man look like a man, woman look like a woman. End of story. It is what it is. But the bucket list, I think relationship, you could spice it up and make it not boring, but talk to the dude because that's where that goes. Don't talk to your girlfriends. Don't talk to your because anything you do sexually should not be exposed to your parents and to uh, uh, um, your parents or your friends. Seriously, that should be something between you and him. Period. All right, and so that's my advice on that. All right, and last question says, what's one thing you wish people understand about sex? It's a beautiful experience. It's given to us by God, and it's mostly abused. And I think we give it up too easy, and so we take the value of sex away from how it should to be, how it should be. And so I think the most special occasions when you with that person you want to be with for the rest of your life, you married your love, and you're open with each other. I think that's when you have like beautiful sex. And so I think you should appreciate sex so you don't abuse it. And then when you learn to abuse it, you won't look at the same. Then you probably don't want to be married if you want to abuse it. So when you love that person, you're going to treat that person according to how that love is in that relationship. And then that's when you have, to me, beautiful sex. All right. And yeah, appreciate sex, don't abuse it. So that's the what I want you to get out of that. And so we covered a whole lot of stuff, and your bodies, your this, that, and other. I mean, these conversations can go in many different directions. Uh, um, and I like to, bring, the answers that I bring, and I'll keep a thing decent because I was out there, and the other side of me, God has really restored me. Hallelujah! All right, and so my book is out there. Read my book, "I'm Worthy, Chosen, Forgiven." You'll see some stuff in there as well, about it. That's why I say some stuff I do. I appreciate sex. I think it's where it should be. I think the way I abused it back in the day, I didn't appreciate it. Didn't respect the women and so I didn't look at it the way I look at it now. I look at it now because of all the tears that I've gotten to let me realize I did it wrong. So that's why I'm trying to teach people how to do it right and appreciate it. So you could feel worthwhile. Because a woman, I'm telling you, I don't believe a woman want to have sex with anybody and she feel like she's just a piece of meat. I'm serious. I think women don't want to feel that. And so it's important that you communicate with your mate so you be like, you know what? So you can know how to express yourself and not be scared. And so you go from there. All right. So I gave you extra stuff because didn't know all the questions that people have to ask and stuff like that. But we're doing some good stuff out here, and I wanted to cover some stuff, but I couldn't because I went on a different tangent, and I want to continue to do what I'm doing because I want to be able to get as much to you as possible and the different angles. But I'm not done. I'll bring it back. We can talk about it because it seemed like a lot of questions come up. We could just talk about sex, but bring the real questions and stuff like that. Be real about it. I'm not gonna joke and play and stuff with that because sex is a serious matter for me, and so many good, bad, and indifferent stuff can come out of this. So I just want to make sure I give you great information. All right, and share it with you, and we go from there. All right. And let me show you this. We're about to close the show. And so I always say faith connected to the power words bring forth reality to God. Here's my information on my region down here in Florida. We're an organization, the AFFI. And so our church down here in Oviedo, Florida, we're hoping to find another location, but until then, we're looking to, be right here, but something close to where we are anyway. Now we like what we're doing now, and we're hoping that other doors open up as well, even if we get to the place where we could build another church. But I'm just giving a shout out, like I said, faith connected to the power words, bring forth reality to God. We're looking for God's reality to really be part of our ministry, part of this podcast, by movies, by books, all the stuff that we're doing, trying to move forward and hopefully impact your life as well. Right. And with that being said, that we could, get rid of this, but take a picture, hopefully surprise us, come see us, that type of stuff. And we could go from there. Right. But I certainly do appreciate everybody. Thanks for, showing up and coming on the show and stuff like that. So we want to continue to, keep this thing moving forward. All right.
God, you taught me to trust you. You show me how to believe. You're the author and the finisher of what you started me. So I'm not gonna doubt it. I'm gonna hold on to peace. Cause if I have you and nothing else, I still
We keeping it real, y'all.